We are here. Let's drop a notification. Let's drop a notification. Drop that, drop that. All right, there we go. Let's get comments pulled up on my end. Let's see who's going to get first in the chat today. We are here. We are here. And if you've read the title of the stream, which I'm sure you have by now, today is a bit more of an in-your-face kind of stream, right? Every now and then we like these sorts of streams around here. The more in-your-face, blunt, straight to the point, straight to the facts, none of the bullshit, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today. Every now and then people really enjoy these sorts of streams. Kate is first in chat. What is up, Kate? What's up, Carrie? Hope you're having a great day. Nova has been obsessed with the window today, by the way, so you may see her going back and forth, which is fine. That is no problem as long as she does not start that barking stuff. If she does that, we might have to put her in the kennel for a minute, at least until we're done streaming. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Do I have comments? Where's comments? Hold on. Hold on. All right. Migs, what's up, Migs? Let's see. Oh, we're just having a time. Let's send out a link real quick. All right. Brian, what is up, dude? Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Brian. Gonna be a good one today. Especially if you're a fan of the more in-your-face sort of streams, the more in-your-face sort of teaching style. If that's your thing, right? If that's your thing, if that's what you're into, you're really gonna enjoy this one. Now, if you're not so much for that, right? If you're not so much for that, and you prefer a more calm and kind of, approach like that, then maybe this is not the stream for you. If you couldn't already tell by the fact that we've got fuck in the literal title of the stream. So this is your warning, right? Prince, what is up, dude? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, Arnold. Lucy, welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're going to give it a minute, and then we're going to get rolling. I love the aggressive ones. A lot of people do, man. I feel like it gets some emotion going. It gets people motivated in a certain way. You know what I mean? There's something to be said about the more gentle, steady approach of just kind of, calm and explaining things in that nature. But there's really something to be said about the ones that get you a bit motivated, that kind of put it in a very blunt way so that there's no mistaking, right? So a lot of people are a fan of those sorts of streams. All right. Let me send out one more notification here, and then we'll get going. One more notification in the chat here, and then we'll get going. One more. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this one going. Let's go ahead and jump right into this one. Now, the title of the stream says, Anxiety Recovery, Are You Willing to Shut the Fuck Up? Now, a lot of people are not quite willing to shut the fuck up, and let me explain what I mean by that. A lot of people, when experiencing anxiety, these symptoms, these intrusive thoughts, a lot of people are not so willing. And most of the time we call it accepting reminders, That's what we normally call it around here. Hey, you got an intrusive thought? You got a symptom. Are you willing to remind yourself with what Dr. Claire Weeks called the accepting inner voice? Hey, I'm having this thought. I'm having this feeling. Some people use certain accepting reminders like, okay, it is what it is. This is allowed to be. This is allowed to happen. That's okay. Whatever keeps you out of the rabbit hole of worry, right? A lot of people understand that. A lot of people understand that concept. A whole lot of people are not so willing to do that. Now, when we say accepting reminders, when we say the accepting inner voice, which means you're having these intrusive thoughts, you're having these symptoms, but you are keeping yourself out of the rabbit hole of worry. So instead of going the worry route, which is what Dr. Claire Weeks called second fear, it's all of the extra mental blah blah that you're doing, you give yourself a accepting reminder. What does that really boil down to at the end of the day? If we take all of this advice, if we take all of this advice that we give here on the channel, stay out of the rabbit hole, put a stop to the worry, aka the second fear. Allow yourself to experience the feelings and the thoughts, but don't go the worry route. What does this all really boil down to at the end of the day? It boils down to, are you willing to shut the fuck up? Really, it does. Now, some people might hear that and they might say, oh my goodness, you have absolutely offended me with that. You have no clue, right? And you're going to I'm going to come on your channel, right? For the first time, like let's say somebody's a newcomer here. I'm going to come on your channel for the first time, and you're going to tell me to shut the fuck up. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's cancel this guy fucking immediately, right? But you got to understand something. You got to understand something. Whether you want to call it acceptance, whether you want to call it response prevention, okay? Whether you want to call it exposure, whether you want to, whatever title you want to put on this whole facing your thoughts and feelings thing, retraining your brain, if you want to call it retraining your brain, if you want to call it rewiring your brain, if you want to call it desensitizing, whatever terms or labels that you want to put on these things that you're doing, right? It is going to come down to, are you willing to shut the fuck up while you're triggered? When you're having these anxious symptoms and you're having these intrusive thoughts, you can go the worry route, which means to throw literal gas on the fire. We know that worry sets off the limbic system, right? So when you're doing a ton of worry over the thoughts that you're having, when you're doing a ton of worry over the feelings that you're having, you are essentially dumping gas on the fire. You are setting the limbic system off, right? Right? We know that. We know that. So are you willing to experience, right, these anxious thoughts, these anxious feelings, while remaining quiet? Really, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So no matter what label you want to place on it, acceptance, ERP, exposure, blah, 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 desensitizing the sensitized nerves, retraining the brain, rewiring the brain, writing new pathways. There's a million different ways we can put it. I'm gonna burst your bubble and tell you that it's all gonna come down to, are you willing to experience the thoughts and feelings of anxiety and shut the fuck up during? Because if you don't, right, if you don't practice this, and this is where we call them accepting reminders, this is where those come in handy, because basically an accepting reminder is just a reminder to shut the fuck up. I'll be honest with you. So when I tell people, hey, if you have that intrusive thought or you have that feeling, remind yourself, I'm going to allow this to happen. If you're going the more neutral approach, I'm going to allow this to happen. Or maybe you're going the more aggressive approach. Okay, this is fine. I want these thoughts and feelings. When I tell people to use these little accepting reminders to keep themselves out of gassing the fire, right, and then live your life, that's the two main keys. When I tell people that, essentially what I'm telling people is, give yourself some sort of reminder to remind you to shut the fuck up. And that's really what that comes down to at the end of the day. Now, I don't always put it that way, because that might be somewhat of a turn off for new people here to the channel that don't understand what we're talking about. But essentially, that is what that comes down to. Whether you spin it this way or you spin it that way, or you're offended by that or you're not offended by that, whether you like it or whether you don't like it is really irrelevant. It comes down to, you have to accept the feelings of anxiety and accept the thoughts that come with it while shutting the fuck up. Because if you don't shut the fuck up, you're going to keep the gas on the fire, right? So now you might go to another channel, right, where you watch a guy who's wearing these fancy robes and he's surrounded by candles and they've got the lighting effects the certain way, and he's doing the deep breathing and he's teaching you about how we should be present in the moment, and don't follow the thoughts that pop in your head. Just accept them, accept the thoughts and the feelings. The same guy that's sitting in the robes, surrounded by the candles, is still telling you to shut the fuck up, whether you like that or not. So the guy who runs the anxiety channel, who is teaching you about embracing and facing and accepting your thoughts and feelings while not trying to fight with them, is telling you to shut the fuck up. The guy with the robes and the candles, who is, we must be present in the moment, right? You know, that guy's also telling you to shut the fuck up, right? The dude in the office who's telling that you go and see, who's telling you that these thoughts and feelings are normal for anxiety and you need to accept these thoughts and feelings, you know, try not to add the worry to, that guy's also telling you to shut the fuck up, right? I don't care where you turn. If we're talking about acceptance, response prevention, rewiring the brain, retraining the brain over these anxious thoughts and feelings, they're all telling you the same thing at the end of the day. They're telling you shut the fuck up, right? Now, you don't hear it put that way, and you probably won't hear it put that way by many people, but you're here on my channel, so I'm going to tell you that that's what they're telling you. They're telling you to shut the hell up. You know, essentially, we know that worry impacts the limbic system. We know that worry, when you have a thought, an intrusive thought, or you have a symptom, and you start to add the worry, which is the mental blah blah, you're making it so much worse. You're continuing to keep your nerves in a terrible state. You're gassing the fire. You're telling your brain that there's a danger. You're telling your brain that there's a problem, right? Right? You're telling your brain all of this. So whether you like it or not, it's all going to come back to the same thing. Whether it offends you or not, it's all going to come back to the same thing. So, you know, we get people that say, there's got to be more to it. You know, I've been doing it for this long, or, you know, down these rabbit holes of worry. And then when they're told, hey, you're down a rabbit hole, you're gassing the fire, you're making it so much worse, they're kind of offended. Oh my God, there has to be something more to this. Oh my God, you know, they're so far down the rabbit hole, right? But again, whether you're getting it from me, or you're getting it from some other anxiety YouTuber, or you're getting it from the guy in the fancy robes, or wherever you're getting it from, whether you like it or not, these people are telling you the same thing at the end of the day, and that's that you have to be willing to have these thoughts and have these feelings and shut the hell up, because your prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking mind, the one that you're yapping all the time, your prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking mind, is directly connected to the amygdala. It can set it off in that way, okay? It can set it off in that way. It can set the amygdala off in that way. So that thing that you're yapping all the time, 24 hours a day, right? That thing that keeps setting off your amygdala, right? Constantly running your mouth 24 hours a day over these thoughts and feelings. It's self-inflicted. You don't like to hear it put that way, but it is self-inflicted. It is a habit, the habit of worry. It's all going to come down to the same thing. Are you willing to shut the fuck up? And most people are not, right? Let's face it. Whether you want to call it acceptance or whatever you want to call it, most people, unfortunately, are not willing to shut the fuck up, or at least shut the fuck long enough for their nerves to make some progress. Now, here's the thing. Nobody's blaming you for not being able to shut the fuck up, because it's a pretty bad habit, right? It's a pretty bad habit. And that's why we say you don't have to be perfect. And that's why we also say that this takes practice. And that's why we also say that you're allowed to use as many accepting reminders to shut the fuck up that you want to use, right? So nobody's blaming you for the fact that you're not willing to do that, but we're hoping that over time you will become more willing to do that. We're hoping over time you will become more willing to practice that. We're hoping that over time you will be more willing to do that. Because whether you take it from me, or the guy in the fancy robes, or the other anxiety channel, whoever you take it from, the guy at the office, doesn't matter who you take it from, the advice is coming back to those words. Are you willing to shut the fuck up? And the habit is you're not willing to shut the fuck up. You've got these thoughts, you've got these feelings, you won't shut the fuck up about it. You keep running your mental mouth, you keep setting off the limbic system. Every time you get a thought, you go, oh God, let me go down this rabbit hole of blah 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 this, and blah 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 that, and blah 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 this, and the whole time time, your poor limbic system is like, please shut the fuck up, and you're not willing to shut the fuck up. So the whole time, the limbic system's like, oh my God, shut the fuck up, and you're just sitting up there going, blah, 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 and the limbic system's like, Jesus fucking Christ, it's been 12 years, please shut the fuck up, and you're not shutting the fuck up, and the limbic system's like, dude, you've got all the answers, could you please shut the fuck up and just let these thoughts and feelings happen? Stop pouring gas on me, man. You've been doing this for 12 years. Could you please shut the hell up? And you're like, yeah, but what if, blah, 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 but what if they miss this? And what if they miss that? And what if there's something I haven't discovered yet? And blah, 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 and you won't shut the fuck up. And the limbic system, the whole time, is taking the absolute beating of a lifetime, an absolute beating of a lifetime, because you won't shut up. Right? You won't shut up. And the limbic system is taking an absolute pounding because you won't shut up, right? So whether you like to hear it or don't like to hear it, that's just the facts. And whether you agree with the facts or don't agree with the facts, that still doesn't change the facts, right? So in order to eventually give the poor nerves a break and stop gassing this fire, again, whether you like to hear it or not, it's going to require you to shut up. It's going to require you to shut up. At the end of the day, no matter how you want to word it, it all is going to come back to, are you willing to shut up? Right? And most people, unfortunately, are not. They have, and don't get me wrong, I know how intense the feelings are, and I know how scary the thoughts can be, and I understand that's why you get suckered into these rabbit holes of not shutting up and just worry. I understand that the bluff is so strong that the habit of not shutting up becomes strong, but we got to break that habit, right? How do we do that? By having the facts, and I'm giving you the facts. The facts is, no matter what anxious symptom you're currently having, no matter what intrusive thought you're currently having, right? Worry stresses the limbic system, right? Worry stresses the limbic system. So whether you agree with the facts, don't agree with the facts, or you know, whatever, offended by the way that you have heard it put today, you know, all of this is irrelevant. The facts are going to remain the facts. If you're not willing to experience these intrusive thoughts and to have these intense anxiety symptoms and shut the hell up during, right, then you're going to keep your foot on the gas, right? You're going to keep giving these thoughts and feelings importance. You're going to keep doing the worry. The worry's going to keep pounding the limbic system. The limbic system, in the state that it's in, is going to keep delivering the symptoms and the thoughts. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. So no matter if you're watching me or the next guy, or you're going to the dude in the office, or you're sitting in the sermon with the guy with the fancy robes and the candles, the advice is, it always comes back to, are you willing to shut the fuck up? Are you willing to have those thoughts and feelings and not gas the fire? Are you willing? And that takes work. That takes work. No doubt about it. That takes work. I never said you had to be perfect, and I never said I blame you for having such a loud mental mouth constantly doing the worry, because I did too, right? And I never said it was easy. But I am telling you, it's going to come back to, are you willing to shut the fuck up, right? So regardless of everything, guys, regardless of everything, whatever terms you want to use, whatever math that you've done, whatever labels you want to use, it's all going to come back to that. Are you willing to shut the fuck up? Are you willing to stop gassing the fire, to allow these thoughts and feelings to do their things? Are you willing to put in the work of catching yourself when you're doing the worry, using what we call accepting reminders so that you can go back to shutting the fuck up and allowing it to happen? Are you willing to do that? That is the question. And if the answer to that question is yes, congrats. Let's keep it up. If the answer to that question is no, well, hopefully we can get you on board eventually, because, again, like it or not, it's always going to come back to, are you willing to shut the fuck up, right? So a lot of people overcomplicate the crap out of this. A lot of people come to me and they say, Wonder Bro, there's just so many different ways that people put it. right? There's so many different channels that I've watched. There's so many different people's that I've went and seen. There's so many different methods that I've heard about. Wonder Bro, how do I know I'm doing the right one? And I'm here to spoil all the fun for you and to ruin your search by telling you, no matter what method you go for, no matter who you speak to, it's all gonna come back to, are you willing to shut the fuck up for once in your life and allow these thoughts and feelings to happen? That's what it's gonna come back to, whether you want to do the A, B, C, D, E, F, G method, or the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 method, or you want to see the guy in room 112, or you want to see the guy in room 264, or you want to go sit in the room with the guy with the robes, or you want to put on some Eckhart Tolle, or you want to put on this guy or that guy. I hate to spoil your fun. I hate to burst your big bubble, but it's all gonna come down to, are you willing to shut the fuck up? And if the answer to that question is no, well, I'm sorry, but you're eventually going to have to switch it to yes. Right? Right? So stop getting lost on the fact that there's so many different methods and labels and terms and this and that, and this guy says this and this guy says that. It's all going to come back to that question. Right? It's all going to come back to that question, whether I call it accepting reminders or the 2 main keys or whatever you want to call it, right? Second fear, first fear, blah, blah, blah. It's all going to come back to, are you willing to shut the fuck up? Right? Are you willing? Or are you just going to keep throwing gas on the fire? Are you willing to accept these thoughts and feelings, live your life, and keep your mental mouth closed? And stop going down these rabbit holes, right? And what does it mean when we say stop going down these rabbit holes? It means stop adding worry to these thoughts and feelings, trying to fight them, solve them, argue with them. And so what does that mean, roughly? It means, are you willing to shut the fuck up, right? Let's just put it bluntly today. That's what we're doing today. I try to, add a little spice and call it accepting reminders, and Dr. Claire Weeks tried to add a little spice and she called it first and second fear, and I try to add a little spice and call it a rabbit hole. But let's get rid of the spice for a second and just wipe everything clean and just ask you that question: are you willing to shut the fuck up? Because that's what it's going to come back to, right? That's what it's going to come back to. So there you have it, guys. That's just the blunt truth. That's just the blunt truth, right? So with that being said, if you did enjoy today's stream, man, hopefully this video remains up. I don't know how many times you're allowed to drop the F-bomb in one stream without it getting taken down. So toss this stream a thumbs up. Let's head on over to post-stream. That was a good one, man. I was cracking myself up there for a minute. I tried not to laugh, but... All right, Nova's going crazy. I think she sees a cat. Let's get some music going. You're going to hear Nova whining in the background because she is bloodthirsty. You hear that? You hear that? That's what it sounds like when you've got a dog that wants to get a hold of a cat. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's get some music going, guys. We're going to have to sit through an ad, though, real quick. We're going to have to sit through an ad, though, real quick. It's not your thoughts or feelings that are the problem. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks so much for your videos. You and Claire Weeks' books have been so helpful. Something that's really helped me was telling myself I'm sensitized right now. I'm supposed to feel this way. You are indeed. I'm working right through it. Art, cleaning, laundry. There you go, Truth. Welcome, by the way. Welcome. Didn't see you. Sky, what's up, dude? Sanchez, we got Sanchez in the house. What's up, Sanchez? Natty, what's up, dude? You're a godsend, my friend. I appreciate that, dude. All right. So we probably did miss some comments during our little rant there, but feel free to re-comment. Let's get our music going. There we go. We've been listening to those, what Sanchez calls the Miami Vice track here for the past few days. It's pretty nice. I like it. Thank you for the $20 Cash App. I received that, 18 minutes ago, so that must have been at the beginning of the stream. I'm glad I checked my phone. Thank you so much for the $20 Cash App. I don't know if I should say your name or not. I never know about that. So I'm not going to say your name just in case, but if you want to take credit for that $20 Cash App, please do. Please do. Comment and let us know that it was you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see here. Now, that's understandable, Truth. That's understandable. Bad habits. Bad habits, right? And that's why I said I don't expect, perfection. I don't expect for it to be overnight, right? We always say things like that. We say, go at your own pace. We say these things because even though we were very blunt today, and those facts are facts, we say those things because at the end of the day, we do realize that it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to break the habit of, what have we been calling it today, not shutting the fuck up, right? We know that's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to accomplish, so we might be super blunt, straightforward, and to the point sometimes, but at the same time, I understand that it is not the easiest thing in the world. All good, Truth. All good. You could always watch it back. You can always watch it back. I did read all the comments, Arnold, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not sure what the joke is with typing the word "come" that way, but okay. I guess that's funny. I don't know. Jesus, I don't know about you people sometimes, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. If you're able to change your state of mind and the feelings disappear for moments, that's the same as avoidance. Really depends on exactly what you mean by that. Change your state of mind as in how? Elaborate just a little bit, and I'll try to answer that for you.
Donation.
Hey, Prince, dude. Prince. My man. Prince, thank you so much for that, dude. I appreciate you. Shout out, man. Shout out to Prince in the chat. Shout out, dude. Thank you for that. Show some love, man. Show some love in the chat. If you're referring to like change your state of mind as in alter your state of mind, like through the use of like drugs or alcohol or something, if that's what you're referring to as in is that avoidance, yes. Well, the thing about that is, Jillian, you're still going to have the thoughts and feelings. But if that makes you feel better, then absolutely. So, if you're accepting the thoughts and feelings, which means you're not trying to fight with them, and as a result of that, you feel better, then great, right? Great. If you're not adding the worry, and then by default, you're not adding the worry, you start to feel better, then great. That's the objective, right? Absolutely. So as long as you're not adding that second fear, what we call worry around here, then absolutely. Yeah, so it's always a good way to kind of sum up that question. Am I using avoidance? Well, is there something that you're doing to fight with the thoughts and feelings? Is there some sort of behavior? Do you stop living because that brings you some sort of comfort to lay in bed, for example, and avoid? Or is there something you're doing to fight with the thoughts and feelings that give you some sort of comfort in the moment? Right? But if you're not fighting with the thoughts and feelings, which means you're basically what we've been saying today, if you're shutting the fuck up, you're letting the thoughts and feelings be, right? No, that's not avoidance. That is the goal, actually. Well, you're not telling the thoughts to shut the fuck up, right? Definitely not. You're telling yourself to shut the fuck up, right? So you're not telling the thoughts go away, don't be here, right? You're not telling the feelings go away, don't be here. You're telling yourself, hey, these thoughts and feelings are here. Just shut the hell up. We're just going to allow them to be, right? So there's a difference between trying to yell at your intrusive thoughts and tell those intrusive thoughts, shut up, I don't want you here, right? And telling yourself to shut up. There's a big difference there. Does everybody see the difference there? The thoughts and feelings can do as they please, right? They're going to, whether you like that or not, they're going to do as they please. So who are you telling to shut the fuck up? You're telling yourself to shut the fuck up, not the thoughts or the feelings. No, I got you, Prince. I got you, Prince. I'm glad you asked that so that we could clarify that. You'll notice the title says, "Are you willing to shut the fuck up?" Right? Not your thoughts, not your feelings, but are you willing? Basically, what we're saying is, are you willing not to add the worry? Second fear. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't get my app to load. Because I think we missed a tip, actually. We got the $20 Cash App. Yes, we got the $5 tip from Prince. I did miss a tip. Oh, no. Okay. No, we're good. This just came a couple minutes ago. We're right on time. Another $15 tip. Thank you so much for the $15 tip. Anytime you guys send the tips directly through the PayPal instead of using the link, you can't type in like a username or something. So I'm always like, I don't know if I should say their name. I don't know if they want me to say their name. So if you sent that $15 tip, please take credit for that. Please take credit for that. Thank you so much for that. Let's add that here. You guys know I can't do basic math, man. Thank you so much for that. Again, please take credit for that. Because I'm not sure if you're cool with me announcing your name or not. We're on 98 days. Insane. Insane. Can someone make things worse with trying to be so positive every time? Well, trying to force like positivity and fight with those intrusive thoughts using positivity, it's the same as a fight, right? Now, that's not to say there's anything wrong with being a more positive person about something that's real in front of you. You know, if I spill a drink, maybe I want to be more positive about it instead of getting so, fuck, my life is ruined, So if it's something real happening in front of you, there's something to say about being a more positive person, but trying to fight intrusive thoughts with positivity is the same as worrying about them. I guess it's better than being negative, but still, we want to eventually get to a place where we don't give them so much importance. Let's say I had a bad anxiety at a certain place, and now every time I need to go be there, I get anxiety. How can I approach this? Same way you approach anything, right? So on the channel, the advice will never change, even if it's dealing with a certain place, right? Maybe this place has become a trigger for you. So we'll always say facing and accepting, right? So if you have to go there again, right, and you do go there again, it's going to be the same concept. Are you willing to experience the thoughts and feelings of being triggered and not add the worry? And that today we've been calling that, are you willing to shut the fuck up, right? So we're not saying are the thoughts and feelings willing to shut up, but are you willing to shut up? Are you willing to have the thoughts and feelings and not attach what Dr. Claire Weeks called the second fear, which is what we call worry, right? And that'll apply to, even facing certain situations or places. So same concept, absolutely. What's up, Gabe? There's nothing wrong with being a positive person, and there's nothing wrong with having a good perspective and outlook on life. These are all good things. But when it comes to the intrusive thoughts and feelings, there's no sense in trying to fight them with positivity. Like I said, I guess it's better than negativity, but you need to get to a point where you're not fighting them. You're welcome, Wonder Bro. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you, Steph. I think the way that I replied to you in the Discord about that, Arnold, was probably the best way to put it. Life has its ups and life has its downs. It's not so much about forcing positivity to the point that you're exhausted. And again, there's nothing wrong with being a positive person, but it's not so much about forcing positivity to the point that you're exhausted. It's about accepting that life does have its ups and downs, but not attaching so much worry, not attaching so much second fear, right? It's about accepting the fact that ups and downs do happen, but you're not so willing and eager and, straight down the rabbit hole about every little up and down in life, right? I think that's really the best way to put that. And plus, I think it's important to note that as you start to accept the ups and downs in life, and you're not so quick to go down the rabbit hole of this compulsive, habitual worry, right? That positivity will kind of happen naturally for you. You'll start to see that things that you made such a big deal, over in the past might not seem such a big deal anymore. So, you start to naturally kind of have this better outlook on life, and it happens very natural. It's not so much having to force things all the time. You start to operate from a place of higher intelligence when you're not constantly down the rabbit hole. That's understandable, Jillian. You could definitely be more tested with what we call not going down the rabbit hole. You can definitely be more tested with that in certain situations as compared to others. And it can definitely be easier, in certain situations. But as you practice and you practice more and more, it should become a little bit easier for you to do that in more situations. It's a lot like building a muscle. It's not something that happens overnight. It does take practice. Are we having a Valentine's theme on here? I don't think I've ever done a Valentine's theme. I don't think I've ever done that. The end goal is the end goal is recovery, right? The end goal is healing. You're not always going to be in a sensitized nervous system. You can desensitize a nervous system, right? So the end goal is healing. But if you're referring to the end goal of, let's say, the practice, well, yeah, the practice will be to have the feelings, have the thoughts, not get so involved in the worry and going down the rabbit holes. That's where the accepting reminders can kind of help you there. So the end goal is healing, but if you're referring to what is the end goal of the practice, then yes, that is the end goal of the practice. I don't even know when is Valentine's Day. When is Valentine's Day? The 14th? On the 69th. I feel like we're fashionably late if we were going to do a Valentine's theme. Oh, absolutely, Jillian. That's what we refer to as first fear. So the symptoms of anxiety, the thoughts, first fear, but are you willing to experience them without adding the worry, right? And we call that second fear. Dr. Claire Weeks called that second fear. That's why we say amygdala overrides your logic, so you can't use logic to logic your way out of it. It doesn't work that way. So brain's not listening to your logic, right? So the amygdala overrides that. You can't use logic to tell the amygdala to be quiet. You just have to get quiet. You have to get quiet, stop trying to logic your way out of it because you're just making it worse. Being willing to experience the thoughts and feelings without adding the worry. Yeah, that's why we always say, you can't logic your way out of it. You can stop gassing the fire, and as a result, things are naturally going to start to slow down for you, but you can't logic your way out of it. We call that worry. I'm going to switch mics for a second. You can hear the difference in that. It's really a practice, JoJo. If you've been working on acceptance and you say you can only accept them to a certain extent, that tells me that at some point you probably do start adding worry, right? And it's really a practice. There's no sort of spot on way on how do I fully accept. There's nothing you're missing. It's more or less just a continued practice. You will eventually get to the point where you can experience the symptoms and not go down the worry route if you call yourself out on that and put in that practice. So it's not really, like so much of a something you're missing. Is there something I need to add, or how do I go that extra step? It's a practice of what you already know. And nobody's perfect at it overnight. You continue to practice allowing yourself to have those symptoms. You continue to remind yourself in those moments to allow those symptoms and do your best to stay out of those rabbit holes, using those accepting little reminders. You do that long enough, the practice will add up for you. Definitely a practice.
Sanchez. Sanchez. Yeah, and that worry habit is strong. That worry habit is strong. You do have to catch yourself quite a bit. It is quite strong. It is a habit. Oh, well, see, that's a huge misconception. We definitely need to correct that, videos. If you believe that you're only making progress if you feel good, then you've got it completely 110 billion gazillion percent backwards, right? Anxiety only learns while anxiety's turned on. So if you believe that you're only doing good work if you're feeling good, then you couldn't be further away from the truth. We could launch you off into space billions and trillions of miles and you still wouldn't be further away from the truth, right? So anxiety only learns when anxiety is turned on. So if you feel like shit, actually that means good. Right? So that sounds a little bit weird, but again, anxiety only learns while anxiety is turned on. Now, if you were at the park feeling like shit and the whole time you were going down every worry rabbit hole that you could find, yeah, that's not good. But if you were at the park and you were feeling like shit, and every time you wanted to go down a worry rabbit hole, you caught that, used a little accepting reminder, didn't go down the rabbit hole and got back to living, then you did yourself a lot of good, right? While you were feeling like shit. Yeah, so definitely need to correct that belief. Anxiety only learns while anxiety is turned on. But while anxiety is turned on, you need to remind yourself, do not be going down so many rabbit holes. You're just going to keep yourself even more psyched. So basically, live your life, yes. Live your life, yes. While you're living your life, we want to stay out of the worry rabbit holes. It's just about catching it, JoJo. It's about catching yourself, really. It's about catching yourself. So if you notice that you start to worry over a thought and feeling, you can give yourself a little accepting reminder, something to get you back into living and not going down so much, compulsive habitual worries. So it's about catching yourself in those moments. Am I starting to go down this, right? Am I starting to go down this? If the answer to that question is yes, you can remind yourself, pointless to go down that rabbit hole. I accept these thoughts and feelings, whatever you want your little reminders to be. It's starting to sound more and more like Miami Vice, isn't it? Yep, and the floating technique really, like the title of this stream says, just so we can stay on theme with the title here. Like the title of the stream says, it's all going to come back to shutting the fuck up, right? So, whether you want to say, "Oh, I'm floating with it," well, basically at the end of the day, that just means you're shutting the fuck up. Right? So, it's funny because all the great advice, no matter how it's labeled or what terms are used, that was really the point of the stream, to get you guys to realize that it's all coming back to that. Whether you know it or not, that's what all the advice is coming back to. That's just the blunt way of putting it. I personally like that, though. I personally like putting it like that. I mean, some people might not want to hear it like that, but I think it's a good thing to realize that, hey, all this overcomplicated advice and terms and labels that exist out there, they're all coming back to this simple message. What you see in the title of this stream. A lot of people say that going back to quote unquote feeling normal, Jillian, is like weird in itself, right? And it's true, man, it's true. It can feel weird. You definitely don't want to go down any rabbit holes about that, but it can feel weird. I always tell everybody that they can feel free absolutely to get checked up and to get cleared. I don't see that as being a problem unless it becomes like an obsessive rabbit hole worry every day sort of thing, right? But I also don't see the problem with getting cleared every once in a while. The question is, what is normal? To me, if we're talking about anxiety, right? If we're talking about anxiety, normal is no longer being triggered with so many intrusive thoughts and feelings, right? Normal to me is going back to a nervous system that's on a quote unquote normal level, aka not triggered 24 hours a day, right? Not a nervous system that
Donation.
overreacts. Maddie! Maddie! Maddie, thank you so much, Maddie. I appreciate you. You know what that means, guys? That means we're moving on to a 99 day streak. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. Huge shout out, Maddie. Show her some love in the chat, please. Hey, that worry habit's a strong one, Truth, but you're working on it. Oh, do you think you think this is a Claire moment? Hey, sometimes, sometimes you gotta be a little aggressive and harsh with yourself, right? Sometimes you gotta slap your own wrist a little bit and be like, yo, you're going down this rabbit hole, you know better. There she is. There she is. But no, guys, that is absolutely insane. 99. Thank you so much. There she is. Oh, excuse me, Nova. Ow, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Thought about doing the marathon for 100. What a marathon consists of, I'm not exactly sure at the moment, but I did think of something along the lines of a marathon. I feel like owning a pet bunny would be, I don't know, cool, but at the same time, like, eh. Don't they just go around and shit everywhere and chew on everything? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Rabbit holes are like a magnet and I'm made of metal. But, you catching that and using your accepting reminders is going to be stronger. It's going to be stronger in the end. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. No, no, I absolutely agree with you, Arnold. Hey, that goes to show you exactly what the rabbit hole accomplishes, Jillian. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, videos. We were talking about that yesterday. Maybe dropping the Discord announcements a lot earlier than usual. Because normally the Discord announcements are like right on the spot, but alright, let's see here. Alright, you beautiful people. We are past that hour mark. We're going to wind it down here. We're going to get our song ready, man, because the stream does deserve a song. Where's the song at? We might have to sit through a quick ad, but it'll be okay. No ads? Alright, we're good. Thank you guys so much for watching. You're all very, very beautiful, and I love each and every one of you so much. Great stream, guys. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like. I'm sure I'll see you all very, very soon. 99 days, absolutely insane. Thank you guys again for watching. I love you. And until next time, as always, stay awesome.
I got my own cold trigger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own cold trigger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No, did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own cold trigger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Won't die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict, I'm a low life, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting, don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored, careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my